So my message today, I just wanted to just talk about continuing to move forward. So, and I was thinking back, I just finished kind of my race season. So I'm a marathoner. I love to triathlon and did some pretty cool things this year. I was really happy. My daughter ran her first 5K. Quite several of my kids did their first triathlon this year, and ran a half Ironman and did just some fun things this year. So just was really looking back and kind of thinking about that this weekend. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about my daughter's 5K. And some of you have maybe heard me talk a little bit about this before, but I think it's a pretty cool story because, running a 5K isn't always easy. And she and I trained, but of course, there's days she wouldn't want to do as much, or she would get tired, so she trained okay, but enough I knew she would push through and she would be fine with this 5K, but, probably could have used a little bit more too. But race day, let's talk about race day. We get started in this race. So we were racing, this was over the 4th of July. And, so we started running, and probably within a half a mile, she just started crying. She just started crying, and I'm like, oh no, we're not even a half mile into this race. What are we going to do? So I asked her how she was feeling. She said, she was starting to get a side stitch and, just wasn't feeling really good. So, we just started talking and, trying to distract her a little bit, but, we just kept going, and we kind of incorporated some run, walk. So, I think that's lesson 1 from this is that, you don't have to run all of the time. Sometimes we can go all in and we can do a lot more, right, with this journey, with this health and fitness journey. And, we can be on all cylinders. And other times we have events going on in our life, or maybe our health isn't the best, or something's happening or going on that just doesn't allow us to perform at 100%. And those are times where it doesn't mean that we can't move forward. It just means we might have to move forward differently. And maybe we're not running anymore. Maybe we're walking. And I just want you guys to know that that's okay. Forward progress is forward progress, right? And celebrate that, and don't ever hold yourself back from making that forward progress. Whether it's running when you can run or walking when you can walk, make that forward progress. So in this race, we started walking, when we needed to, and we would run. So, but the next thing that I tried to do for her, and what I taught Ashley, and it was really fun to see her do in this race, was that, we focused in our training on short goals. And so instead of saying, okay, well, we've got a mile until we get home, we're not going to stop until then. We've just focused on going smaller distances. So, we would talk about running till that next stop sign, or running until we got to the fire hydrant. And it was really fun to see her in this race. Gosh, I'm getting emotional. To pick her little milestones, right? So I'd say, okay, how are you doing? And she was like, let's go to the blue tent, or let's go to that bank sign. And she would find little milestones to keep going. And then when we got there, she would assess, okay, could she keep running, or did she need a break? Did she need to walk a little bit? So that's lesson number 2, right, is don't look at the finish line. Whatever that ultimate goal is for you, if it's to lose 100 pounds, if it's to, have a certain percent of body fat, if it's, to, completely get rid of sugar out of your life, whatever that is, whatever those big, massive goals are that's the ending point for you, don't focus on that first. What I want you to focus on those small milestones every single day. Where do you need to go today, right? You don't need to worry about where you need to be next week, or how long it's going to take you to lose 100 pounds, or gosh, that's going to take a year or 2 years. Focus on today, right? And run as far as you can today, and then look at what that next milestone is and run that much further, right? So take that one day at a time and help yourself to be able to do that, right? You can help yourself by having a meal plan every day. It will help you stay on track with your nutrition. You can put your workouts in your calendar so that you know what those are every single day. You don't have to guess, or you don't have to stay in bed because, you want to be lazy because you don't know what your workout is. I've done that before. Because you didn't have it figured out. Like, do some things to have yourself planned and prepared so that your motivation is increased, and then just go to that next milestone and celebrate that, right? When we would get to that tent, I would celebrate that, and I would tell her good job, and I would let her know how proud I was of her. And that's what you need to do too. Find those moments and celebrate. I love in the Champagne Diet, great book. If you haven't read it, put it on your personal development list because it's one that you're going to want to read. But she talks about in there how, one thing that struck me is she said, we don't treat ourselves because we feel like we don't deserve it. Hey, Lori. She said, we don't deserve it, so we don't, and I related well to this because this is exactly what I did, and I went out, a couple days later and just shopped because I could. But she said, we tell ourselves, oh, well, I'm not going to buy new pants, or I'm not going to go shopping or do this or that because I haven't lost all of the weight that I want to lose. And she's like, you shouldn't do that. You should go celebrate. You should find something that you love and that you look good in because you just, lost 5 pounds, right? And, why wait? Why wait and basically, reprimand ourselves for not getting to that final goal when we should be celebrating those little milestones? So I want you guys to do that and find ways to celebrate and treat yourself and give back to yourself. Make yourself feel beautiful. Make yourself feel amazing for hitting those little milestones every day, every month. Set up yourself for success on the little things too. So my last lesson. So we're coming to the finish line. And, we have one more corner in this race. So we're running this 5K race, and you're running up this street, and you've got to turn the corner. And before you can see the finish line. So Ashley was getting very, very tired. We were probably almost at the 3-mile mark, a little bit shy, maybe a quarter mile or so left in the race. And so she couldn't see the finish line, and she's just feeling so tired. And I knew she wanted to give up. But I told her, I said, you got to keep going. Just a few more steps and you'll be able to see the finish line. And I think for a while she didn't believe me, but she kept going. And I'm telling you, the moment she rounded that corner and could see that finish line, all of a sudden her motivation was tenfold, and she sprinted into that finish line. I'll have to find the picture and post it for you guys because it was amazing, and I could just tell she was so happy that she had been able to do it, and she sprinted herself in there. And it just made me think, I remember, one, just being so proud of her, but just thinking, how many times do we give up when we are so close to a breakthrough, when we are so close to that next goal, but we just can't see it yet? You've probably seen the picture. There's a picture, it's a guy, and he's in a diamond mine, and so he's picking away at this diamond mine. And the top picture shows the guy just giving up and walking away. And I mean, it's like paper thin wall to get to this big stack of diamonds on the other side of this cave or this mountain. And the first guy, he's slumping off and he's given up. And the next guy, and on the bottom of this cartoon, it shows him breaking through the wall and getting to the diamonds. So, and I just thought of that picture when Ashley crossed this line, or when she finally turned that corner and she could see that all of her hard work was right there at the finish line, and she just ran for it and went for it. And it just made me realize how many times are we that close. Maybe we've hit a plateau. Maybe you're at a point where you're not losing the weight at the rate that you were before. Maybe it's you've gone through some hard things, or you have some stress in your life, so those cravings for chocolate or late night ice cream or whatever that is for you are creeping back up, and it's seeming really hard for you to make progress and move forward. Right now is when you have an opportunity to know that you can battle through and you can see the end, or you can give up and you will probably be razor thin from your diamond, right from your breakthrough moment, from that plateau or from whatever it is that you're trying to overcome. So keep going through that. Third lesson, keep going through the hard times, because weight loss is not a scale like this. We go like this and circle around and lose and plateau and have great progress, have no progress, have limited progress. I mean, it's always differing and changing because it's unfortunately just not a straight line. But it will happen, and if you keep going, if you keep doing the right things consistently, you keep eating the right portions, you take your Shakeology every day, you get your workouts in at least 5 days a week. If you do those little things consistently every day, keep yourself on track, you will make progress. It will come, and you'll be able to overcome through that. So that's the story of the marathon, and I hope you guys can apply those lessons to you too. Those are not the marathon, the 5K. You don't have to run a marathon, just run a 5K, but you know, that you can break things into small parts, and that you can walk sometimes instead of run. That's okay, and to never give up, because that your breakthrough might be just around the corner.